So you're getting married in August in California?
Yes. Tell me about your wedding day.
My wedding? Well, we got married. I was living in Oklahoma when I met my husband. He was in the Air Force. It was during the war. And so we met and we dated for a few months. And we fell in love and decided we should get married.
Mm-hmm.
So we got married just at a minister's office or whatever it was called. Not a big wedding or anything.
Just simple.
And no, we just got married there in Oklahoma. But my parents and a couple of my siblings and my Aunt Cora, who I named my daughter Cora after her.
Uh-huh.
She was my father's older sister. But she came to the wedding. But it was just very simple. And then 2 weeks later, after I got married, John needed to come back to California to get his discharge.
Oh, from the Air Force?
From the Air Force. And so we caught a bus from Oklahoma back to Springville, Utah.
How was that?
And I met his family for the first time, of course. And
Wait, you didn't meet his family before you got married?
no, I didn't, honey.
Was he nervous about that?
No, I wasn't. No. And then anyway, my parents were really active in church, but not the LDS church. I'd never heard of the LDS church.
Uh-huh. What religion were they?
I don't know, honey. We lived out in the country. We just went to a church that we had wagon and horses that took us to church,
Mm-hmm.
Had to go with the wagon and horses to get to any place where they were holding church. It was just not
Far out in the country.
Yeah. And then after I came to Utah, and my husband's, not his parents were not members of the LDS church. They weren't a member of anything. But then some of his family were. Some of his sisters and their families were members of the church. So the more I heard about it from them, then I thought I wanted to have the missionaries come and teach me about this church. And I remember the two men that came, but I never wrote their names down. I don't have that record of that, but anyway, I believed everything they said because it's so right.
Yeah.
It's so perfect.
It just feels right, doesn't it?
And I just was thrilled to be baptized. And then John and I, of course, he had been baptized.
Where did you get
Younger.
baptized?
In the Salt Lake Temple.
Whoa!
And then, not too long after that, then we went through, after we got married and I was baptized and stuff, then we went through the temple to be married and sealed for time and eternity, and our 3 little kids. By that time we had all three of the children, and so we were able to take them all to the temple and have them sealed to us.
How cool is that? I bet that was an amazing experience.
Oh, honey, it was. Just the whole thing was so beautiful, just... And I had a good man, good husband, and you probably don't remember him much.
I think he died when I was about 2 or 3 months. So I have baby pictures with him holding me, but I don't ever remember meeting him.
Well, now, see, Johnny, my son Johnny, when my dad died, Johnny was 6 months old.
Oh, uh-huh.
So he doesn't ever remember meeting him. he remembered my mother because she lived. We sold the farm when I was about 15, I think I was. And my dad had had a stroke, was in the hospital in Oklahoma City, a couple 100 miles from where we lived. But the doctors told him that he could never go back to the rigors of the farm. Because it was just, we had no conveniences, honey, no electricity.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah. So anyway, my brother and his wife were living up in Enid, Oklahoma. And so after the doctors, Dad was in the hospital for about 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And the doctor said he absolutely could not come back to the rigors of the farm. So my brother called me from Enid and said, and see, I was my last year of high school. So I think I was 16. And he said, okay, Lena, you've got to get a hold of an auctioneer and have him come to the house, and you've got to explain to him what everything Dad has that we need to put on and make out, go to somebody in Prague and make out these little leaflets that you could leave you, and you need to get somebody to take you to all around the neighbors, all around in the area there, and deliver these little things to their mailboxes.
To let them know it was for sale?
Huh?
Why did you take the leaflets to your neighbors? To let them know the farm was for sale?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And, because we had, I think at that time we had 6 cattle, milking cattle, and we had several hogs. We raised pigs, and my dad had 2 really nice, beautiful horses. But I don't think I ever got a picture of them. But anyway, that was...
And what did you farm?
I was in charge of all of that. Huh?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cotton, yeah. I picked cotton, picking cotton, taking it to the gym in the little town 10 miles away with our wagon and horses. And the trailer, the wagon filled with cotton after we picked it. But I picked a lot of cotton, you know, in my time. And of course, Mom and Dad did too. That was a good income that we had coming in off the cotton. But it was a lot of work. But I was used to a lot of work. In fact, my sister that was just 6 years older than I, Ruthie, and she died just a few months ago. I can't remember what year, or what day. But anyway, I was 6 years old at that time, I remember. And she said to me, now, she took me aside and she said, okay, now, Lena, you're 6 years old now. You're old enough to learn how to milk them darned old cows. And that's my job, and I hate that job. So I'm going to teach you how. So she taught me how to milk the cows. And we had 6 cows we had to milk, you know. So that ended up being my job.
Because she hated it, so she passed it on to you.
Yeah. She hated it, but I didn't hate it. I thought, this is not so bad, you know. Just we also sold milk. You know, the Phil would come by the little country road, not paved road, but a dirt road, you know, in front of our house. And they would pick up milk. I don't know what they did with it, but I guess they did something with it because they paid us for the big cans, metal cans of milk, you know. So, anyway, that was... I had a lot of responsibility, but I loved the farm. My grandfather had bought the 160 acres of land from the Indians.
Wow.
It's surplus land that the Indians had, Sac and Fox Indians, I believe was who the ones that my grandfather bought the land from. And so anyway, then after my grandfather died, he put the orchard in the farm that we had.
What
orchard.
What fruit did you have?
All kinds, honey. Cherries, apricots, peaches.
All the good stuff.
Apricots, or apples.
Yeah.
We had a big farm like that. But anyway, then after my grandfather died, my dad and his brother split the 160 acres. So we farmed 80 acres, and Uncle Walt and his family farmed the other 80 acres.
80 acres. I can't imagine.
They just lived right on the adjoining 80 acres.
So you were neighbors.
Yep.
So all 80 acres were cotton, and then you had the orchards for fruit as well?
No, it wasn't all cotton, honey, but it was two big areas of cotton. That, of course, Mom and Dad planted that with the farm animals, and then it came up in the fall or whenever we picked the cotton. Yep.
Wow.
Had a lot of responsibility when I was growing up.
Yeah.
But I loved every minute of it,
Taught you hard work, huh?
Yeah.
Did you want to raise your kids on a farm?
After I got married? No,
Yeah.
because my husband was from Utah.
Yeah.
So, no, but we sold the farm when I was, it must have been I was 15, because I would have graduated from the high school in Enid, which was a big high school. My last half of the year, I had to leave Prague because we sold the farm, and I had to go to Enid, Oklahoma to graduate. And I didn't know any of the kids there in class, just the last part of my senior year. That was kind of hard. But it was fine. Now, is this where we're having the party?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
At
not
the
very
park.
far away. Huh? Now you've heard all my life story.
I recorded it.
Oh my goodness.
So you can
darling.
wave to everybody.
Oh,
And
my
now I'll
goodness.
have those stories forever. Isn't